Is it still good? Is it still good? Or is it better in the past? Does it hold up or does it just suck? Y'all will find out on the cast. The podcast is starting now. Forgot that I left those acapella drum rolls in. Hello and welcome back to Is This Still Good? A podcast about removing nostalgia goggles and looking back on those childhood treasures and seeing if they are treasures. I'm Sage.
And by treasure, you mean a barrel full
Tesoro.
of bananas? Oh.
Yes. I guess we could have tied it in a little bit better. We're doing some special DLC today. You may be looking, and I see you looking. I see you outside the window with your confused face going like, hey, what's this episode? You guys did a Donkey Kong episode. In fact, allegedly, it's your first episode. Also, what happened to Space Jam? Did you guys not like it and deleted from the service? That's correct, but a very special thing is happening this month, this week, in fact. We are getting a second Donkey Kong 3D game, Donkey Kong Bonanza, for Switch 2. What? There's a second Switch? Look, a lot's happened this year. We're catching up. And that gentle laugh you heard is because Campbell is back. Yay, Campbell!
Hey friends, what's good? How's it going?
There's no reason to wave on this.
Well, I mean, you can't
appreciated
stop
it.
me. You can't stop me. I'm gonna be friendly and nice, and that's how it is.
That's true, and I can delete the awkward gaps. Campbell was the guest on our Donkey Kong episode. If you want to hear more about Donkey Kong Country and Campbell's wonderful journey through video games and a kind of weird childhood, if I'm being honest, we've cleaned that up a little bit. It's one
His
of
childhood?
It truly is one of my favorite episodes that
thanks
we've
for
done.
that, by the way. I appreciate the cleaning that up.
In fact, I would say that the Donkey Kong Country episode does count as a treasure. Gavin, how you doing?
Hanging in there.
So, Campbell, you've been gracious enough to, I assume, steal a version of Donkey Kong 64 and play it?
No, okay, yeah, I don't have the expansion pack, which means that even if I had it, I couldn't play it, which is a fun thing. Yeah, so there was a little, if anybody had an N64 back in the day, there's a little thing you could pop off on the top
Module,
of
a pack.
a little module that you would uninstall the plastic dummy thing in there, and you'd put this 4 megabytes of RAM to increase your console's capacity, and that was required for a couple of games. I think Perfect Dark and Donkey Kong 64. It's kind of interesting. There's rumors. Everybody thinks that it was to fix a memory leak issue. It was like a glitch. But
Okay.
the truth, I looked into it. The truth is that Rare has a long history with Nintendo. They did, at least.
Yeah, it did.
And Nintendo asked them to specifically showcase some of the cool benefits and features of it. So I don't know if you guys remember. Well, we all played the game, right? Donkey Kong 64.
Sure.
Or at least a little bit of it.
But just in case, why don't you tell us if you played the game?
Oh man, as much as I could handle. It is so long.
Begs the question on, is this still good? Side quest here into breaking the core of our podcast to
Oh, I'm going to be honest. I did not intend to do it. Is this still good section for this?
dig up Campbell's childhood traumas. This is
luckily, I never played this one as a kid. So this is
really?
all adult trauma.
So, yeah, I did play this as a kid for a little bit, but I didn't have a 64, so it was in bursts at a friend's house. And
I
it kind
just
of blurs
read about
together with a lot of other 3D games. Well, I mean, it was a big deal when it came out. I don't think it was as critically reviled then as it is kind of through time.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I just remember reading about it and wishing I had an N64 so I could play it. Like you said,
It
this
looks
is
cool.
brought about the expansion pack. It was the first time. I think this was the first game with it, right?
It launched with it. You actually, when you bought the game, it came with the expansion pack, which is brilliant because
Fascinating.
who's going to buy that extra, right?
Yeah, who would just buy a Nintendo accessory to fit in?
Well, so since we've all totally played the game, if you guys remember in the beginning of it, there's this cave section area, and that's where the tech demo was, essentially. There's these lights that were swinging on the ceiling, and in old games, and in modern games too, there's this thing that you do called light baking, where you will bake the lighting so it's static in the environment.
Like a cake?
and so when the characters get near, it'll get bright. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Well, baking just means like setting in place. It makes it much more performant. It's these consoles are old and kind of underpowered
Okay.
by today's standards, of course.
Sure.
But anyways, if you go into that cave, there's these swinging lights, and it's real time lighting. It looks really goofy looking at it now, but it was pretty impressive at the
Well,
time.
there's a real basic video game question that I have forgotten the answer to, which is just like, what does the 64 Nintendo 64 refer to? Because wasn't that like Super
Maybe I should've
Nintendo was
looked that up.
32 and like didn't it?
I think it's the bits. I heard
That's what I've
somebody
been
say
saying
it was
my
the
whole life,
like.
but like when I say it out loud, that sounds
Yeah.
insane. That sounds reductive and simple. And
No. I mean, that was like, in the 90s, that's the tech was the selling point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Sega Genesis had Mega Blast processing or whatever the heck they called it.
Which is not as numerically inclusive,
Yeah.
but
Right. Yeah, but it's all based on like, computer nonsense that nobody knew or cared about. Which is kind of interesting. I feel like I learned something about Rare and like their decline because of
Okay.
this, where the Rare's biggest boon, their biggest skills back in the day were their graphical capabilities. They were one of the first like Nintendo companies to have a Silicon Graphics workstation to make 3D graphics and stuff. But in all the older games before this, they weren't actually 3D, they were 2D, right? So this is the first time that they transitioned from pre-rendered sprites to actual 3D models real time in the game. Well, this isn't the first time. Banjo-Kazooie was the...
oh,
But
okay.
yeah. This is the first time Donkey Kong did it, of course.
yeah, which was Banjo-Kazooie before Donkey Kong 64?
It was, yeah. It influenced a lot, actually. I think I heard rumors that it was originally going to be a 2.5D
Okay.
game, where it's like 2D but on a 3D plane, sort of.
So when I hear 2.5, I think of like the
But-
Double Dragon beat 'em ups type things. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Is that okay?
yeah, exactly.
I mean, that would be fun with
Yeah, that's
Banjo-Kazooie.
exactly what I mean. Yeah, honestly, I probably would have enjoyed the game more if it was not entirely 3D. That's
I
one of my
mean-
biggest gripes with it. Is it's just like a new 3D game. They hadn't figured out platforming quite yet.
3D platforming on its face is like a pretty difficult
Yeah.
sell. It's pretty wild that Mario 64 or whatever it's called came out and crushed the way it did and still kind of holds up in a way that's
yeah.
extremely
It still
fun.
mostly holds up.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the only character I've really... I mean, was Spyro Rare
Mm.
as well?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think
Wasn't
so. I could be
Spyro
wrong, but I
Sega
don't think
originally?
so.
No.
Oh,
I don't know,
they were
but
on
Spyro
Sony.
Spyro did work really well for me. That was the one that I grew up with that kind of felt like my version of Banjo-Kazooie
Yeah.
because they had a kind of similar like pointy art style, the least edgy kind of edgy art style that I can
Yeah.
like picture if that makes any
He's a
sense.
gentle
I
dragon.
love the style of all of this.
Yeah.
It was so good. By the way, Spyro was Insomniac. I knew that.
Oh,
I
that's
had to look
right,
it up,
yeah.
though. Yeah. That was.
I know
way
it was
back
one of the
when.
bigger developers.
But yeah. Should we get into? Oh,
yeah, I want to
man.
know. I want to know what you
Can
felt.
we talk a little bit about the
Yeah.
game? I want to. Can I say some things I really loved about
Yeah.
it?
Why would I stop you from any sort of praise?
So
I'm
well,
assuming
no,
it did
just 'cause
some
there's
things
so much-
right. It was not a completely cynical
Well,
endeavor.
This is totally true. I mean, yeah, it's quite the opposite because it was so fun and whimsical. Like all the names are so fun. Like the big K Lumsy, the clumsy, the giant like crocodile thing you had to save, and all the character designs and levels. I love that all of the characters' islands and where they lived was the shape of their head. You know what I mean? Like that's such
As
a
it should be.
fun concept to think about.
What is the lore drop, if I can rewind you for a second, on Donkey Kong 64? Is there a narrative aside, like is the usual that King K. Rool came in and took a bunch of bananas, is what I remember usually setting out the games?
Yeah, is that their version of Bowser has kidnapped Peach? Is just K. Rool
Yeah,
stolen all
pretty
the
much.
bananas? Sure, man.
It was a bit darker than most Nintendo games
Uh-huh.
at the time, but only a bit,
Because they needed the bananas to survive. They were all going to starve. And they wouldn't
Well,
make it through
okay.
the long winter.
Is that the only
If
thing they can
needed
eat?
the bananas,
Like, is that their
Yes.
only
that would
food
explain
source?
a lot. Except I don't understand, why do we have to? Did you guys get to play any of the boss levels?
On DK64?
Little
No. I ran around collecting
Okay,
things because
okay.
that's how my brain works
Let-
for that part. I would always let other people fight bosses in pretty much every game. If it was a shared experience, I would still like to be
Wow.
able to skip every boss fight in every game.
You weren't missing much. I think that was a really good intuition. So the way that it works is these weird portals that you go through and randomly throughout the levels. And when you go through the portal, there's a pig named what was the name of the pig? Trough, and a hippo named Scoff.
Really good. Okay.
Trough and Scoff.
Yeah, which is great. That's what we like about the game. What I didn't like about it is that they were both on these like cantilever platforms, and so in order to get to the boss, Trough had to reach the key. So you had to feed bananas to Scoff, so that Scoff would get fat enough to weigh down the lever system so that the pig would get up, so the pig could reach the key. And it made me so uncomfortable. I really hated that. I hated it so much. And I especially that he would rub his belly like while he was doing. Yeah, I didn't consent to this. Is how I felt. Yeah.
I feel like by purchasing the game,
them as a third without really realizing what you signed up for. Yeah.
Yeah. He's just like, feed me the bananas, and it was very. I don't know. It was far too sensual.
I saw you across
like
the island tiki bar, and we're
you
like
and
the way
Scoff.
you fling bananas, monkey boy. Come on over.
Oh, that's some Funky Kong right there.
how does it compare to the other platformers that we did play of that era, specifically Banjo-Kazooie? I don't really think you can compare what Donkey Kong is doing to the Mario games to that much, or at least a better
Yeah.
comparison
Why
is
not,
Banjo-Kazooie,
actually?
or even like Conker's Bad Fur Day, which
Yeah, which I mean, I played a lot of Conker's Bad Fur
Yes.
Day. That game.
I'm
was
not.
fun.
I'm not thrilled that I played all of Conker's Bad Fur Day, but have not played Donkey Kong 64. I think that like coasts on
you don't
edge. I
have-
don't even remember how it works as a platformer.
You would have to basically quit everything else you're doing for the next like few months in order to actually complete Donkey Kong 64 like 100%. I looked it up. You guys, okay? So here's the big thorn for everybody, and this is like not news. There's too many damn collectibles, right? And they're based on like, okay, there's a lot of games that have a lot of collectibles, but you don't have to get them. In this game, you have to get them.
No.
Like, it's
Right.
Like to unlock
how
the
the
next
progression
level and
works.
everything comes
Yeah.
through. So out of
Yeah,
the
you-
like
yeah, you need the bananas for the boss. You need
1,500
the coins for the
collectibles or
upgrades.
whatever, you need to get all of
Yeah,
them?
they're not just. There's more than that. So I looked it up. There's 3,500 colored bananas, 949 banana coins. Yeah.
No.
201 golden bananas, 10 combat crowns, 10 fairies, 40 blueprints, and then 40 banana medals. And those are just the ones that like count towards your progression, not including like health and whatnot. So it's too damn many things to get.
Sorry, I've been trying to look up the gameplay length of Donkey Kong Bonanza. And humorously, the AI overview says the main story is 18 minutes. 100 completion takes approximately 1 hour. So, like, how can we just stop with this? Because that's not true.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're really, really good, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know if anyone's been able to speedrun the game that doesn't come out until next week.
Well, for comparison's sake, compared to like Mario Odyssey, this is over double the amount of collectibles. And in Mario Odyssey, you don't have to you only have to get so many moons to progress, right? So it's just far too much. And the biggest problem is that there's a bunch of characters in the game. You know, there's five different characters. Most of the collectibles are locked behind characters, or most of the collectibles are locked behind the character specific.
So your characters,
to get the blue bananas, you have to get the.
You're playing as the different Kong family members, and you have different abilities.
Exactly.
I think they tried to replicate this in the
the
Super Mario 64 version that I played for DS, where you could play as Luigi and you'd get like some floating powers, and you could play as Wario and blast through walls, and they had added like 30 stars for that. This sounds like a more annoying version of that.
Thinking about like replaying the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games, and just even the idea of trying to beat that game with more than one skater, it's not that it sounds difficult. It just, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not the point of my recreational time, is to rebeat the same game, same level with a tweak on it.
I don't mind the option, but this
Yeah,
game
I don't
really
mind
the option,
forces you
but yeah,
to.
it's the
beat
force.
that game with every
Yeah,
character multiple times. I was so hawk pilled.
I That's good. There's a section, and I only beat probably half of the first 2 levels, and there's 8. So, and I probably put a good 20 something hours into it. So this is ridiculous.
Well, I
Um,
looked up a walkthrough video, and they beat it in 12 and a half hours. So
Dang. That's pretty good. I need to get up on my
Yeah, have
stuff.
you thought that maybe you
But
suck at Donkey Kong 64, Campbell?
oh, absolutely. That was my first
Yeah,
thought,
it's probably
actually.
me, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's no way that this game was sold that many copies, and yeah. But no, there's these sections, multiple sections where you have to unlock an area with one character, and then as soon as you're in that area, the next like unlock to get to the next area past that is a different character. You have to beat 3 different characters, and that means you have to go all the way back to the
so you can't
character
just like
select.
body switch. It's not
No.
like a
No, you have to
okay.
go to the barrel to switch. It's called the tag barrel, they call it. Just cute.
Now, if you die in the
Do you die
game,
in real life?
do you die for real?
Yeah,
No.
yes, you die. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Do you have like what is the punishment system aside from just being incredibly unstraightforward and having to go backwards a lot? If you like, do you have to start the level over? Do you lose the progress with one of those characters? What does the punishment look like in Donkey Kong
That's a
64?
really good question. I wasn't willing to find out firsthand. I did die on accident once, and so the health is like melons. So if you lose all
Sure,
4 of
of
your
course.
melon chunks,
What-
yeah, right, of course. Yeah,
Sage,
I don't
we
know
look- we
why
look
that's
confused.
frustrating, but it is.
yeah.
Would you
I don't
prefer
like
it
to
was
think about
well?
it.
You know that their lives are encapsulated in balloons, if you remember correctly.
Not in this
So-
one, but in the old ones. That's
I think
true.
the
In this one,
balloons
it's
were just
bananas. It's
holding
more
lives. I
bananas.
didn't think the green mushrooms were your actual lives in Mario.
Wait, I never thought about the implications
Because
of
it's
your soul being in a
existentially
balloon.
terrifying.
Yeah, that's not very donkey. That's not very okay.
It's not very DK.
Sorry. Oh shoot. Yeah, I forgot where I
Yeah,
where it
no,
was,
we went
but
off someplace.
Sorry.
This game's
Yeah.
rough. I wanna give it credit where credit's due. I think that forcing you to replay the levels the way that it did was a really economical use of space.
I mean,
It-
you say that, but they also had to expand the actual system.
What do you mean?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, that's true. They didn't have to. I would argue they didn't have to. I wonder what the game would have been like without the extra 4 megabytes of RAM. Maybe they would have had less collectibles.
You think that was just all colored bananas hidden in the expansion pack?
Actually, I found that there's somebody made a ROM hack for this that makes it so you can switch characters at any time. And I think it's probably a lot better of a game.
So,
It sounds a
that-
bit more
with that
comfortable.
would you compare it to like,
Yeah.
the Metroidvania style things where you go back to places with new powers so that you can do new things? Or is it just like, no, you just got to go back here. You just got to do things
it's like
again.
that, but
You just got to keep
Yeah,
doing
it's like
things
that, but
again
without the
until we
dopamine
say
of-
that you can go
Yeah.
forward in the game.
there's no puzzle solving. It's just that you can see, like, okay, whenever there's a collectible that's for another character, you can see it still. You just can't
Mhm.
get it.
Frustrating.
Yeah.
The idea that like instead of you not being able to reach it because you can't,
Oh,
it's just
in.
because you have the wrong
Okay,
character.
that's fucked up and
it's
I
just
hate it.
punishing you so arbitrarily.
That makes me
Yeah,
so
it's
upset. This is
horrible.
melons all over again.
Yeah, no, it's all. Speaking of melons,
Careful.
there's a risque part that's fun. When you go to Candy Kong's shop, you can like get an upgrade for each character so they play an instrument. So each character has their own musical instrument they play.
They also
It's
have their
always
own
fun.
guns, right? This
Yeah, every character has
a
it's
gun.
in the, what's the Sonic Shadow?
Let's back up.
Yeah,
Every
it's
character
probably
has a
after Shadow.
gun in Donkey Kong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
unlike in Sonic, where only one of them.
Yeah.
does.
right.
The most
Yeah, just the
tortured
one time, yeah.
and badass one.
There's a story behind this where when Rare was showing Nintendo the like first early demo of the game, like, they were all very excited and happy, and then the look on Miyamoto's face when he pulls out a very realistic gun and starts shooting beavers and like other characters, he was frowning, and then he kind of smiles, turns around, draws a little coconut gun, and he says, "Here." It's like, this is their solution, because Nintendo's historically very anti, weapons, right? They're kind of like Lego in that way.
Yeah, that makes
Sure.
sense.
I mean, they just make it like Kirby is the weapon. He is an Eldritch
Or,
Lord
or
that
like
Oh,
can
yeah.
Splatoon, you're playing
absorb people.
Campbell.
Yeah. Like they'll take liberties
Kirby the
with it,
God
but
Killer.
also like what happens to a creature when Mario's hat is on it?
Oh no, I don't want to think about.
I think there's
that.
a whole podcast
That's
about
rough.
just the existential implications in all of these video games.
Yeah, the ethics of Mario Odyssey are pretty rough.
Yeah.
I mean, they made that. That's basically the Imperious spell, right? So I don't think we can, in good faith, do our is this still good? Because two of us just purposely did not revisit this property.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good for you guys. That's great.
So the
You
question
know, I'm
is,
grateful that I was forced to play this, but you know, it was
yeah,
rough.
I really did try to figure out how, but it is not currently on like the Switch Classic thing.
I did download the ROM and opened it, but I didn't.
Oh, good for
I
you.
couldn't,
Yeah.
you know, it's
Oh,
like,
did you get to hear
I
the
need to
rap?
play it on a PlayStation controller.
Did you get to hear the
which
rap?
just the idea of trying. I have heard the
Okay.
rap, yes.
It's very important. It's the best part of the game, honestly. So I like that
front-loaded.
they give it to you right away. Yeah.
But would you
Yeah.
give it a better as a memory, or would you put it into a barrel and shoot it off into oblivion?
The only reason people like this game is nostalgia, because it was literally the only game that they had, and you know it had hundreds of hours
Yeah.
of content, so they were forced to play it. So I want to give it 2,100 bananas out of 3,500 bananas.
That doesn't. All right. I guess we don't need to slot
like
it
a
into the
60%.
Sounds like a
section.
C. Yeah. Okay.
It's DLC. You don't have to love Donkey Kong 64 to appreciate Donkey Kong Country.
True.
So here's the question, the big question. Playing what you have from it, what can you identify that, oh, that is a good idea, that could be developed into something good? Because, again, we've got another Donkey Kong coming out, and I'm, like, trying to convince myself to get excited about it. It looks fun. They've got a weird narrative where Pauline from the original Donkey Kong game comes down. Which,
yeah.
by the way, Nintendo in all of their directs, they make their games look the most boring possible. It's like listless narration that just tells you everything that's happening in the game. It's like, but then it turns out the rock creature is actually Pauline, and Donkey Kong has to go. It is just like it seems like one of those podcasts that you put on specifically to sleep to.
Now, is Pauline being a rock creature? Is that something that you made up whole cloth?
No,
or is
that
it actually
was
part of
like
the direct?
revealed in the 1 minute of like the 6 minutes like
Wait,
story
what?
thing. So
She's a
there's like a
rock
rock
creature?
creature that
Okay.
like lands when Donkey Kong's in like a mine or something, and the rock helps him out, and then at some point the rock creature kind of explodes, and it's Pauline from the Mario series and the original.
Pauline,
Pauline is
who?
rock.
Pauline's the
Is that
original
person
person
that-
that Donkey Kong kidnaps. So I don't know how lore based this is
Right.
to be like, hey, remember when your grandpa
Yeah.
kidnapped me? Well, now we've got to escape our mining planet.
What
I know
the
it does a
hell?
lot of 2D
remember
Donkey
when
Kong
Pauline was
stuff. The
rocks?
3D stuff looks as good as like the modern Mario stuff, at least visually.
Oh sure. Oh yeah.
Point
No,
is,
the games look the game looks
There's
incredible. in
no
style.
reason a 3D Donkey Kong needs to not kick ass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, honestly. So the question you asked earlier, I want to answer. Where you said, "Is there anything good about this game that you could take?" And I think the
rap.
character mechanics are a joy, and the rap.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course, you need the rap. It's so good. But honestly, though, the character mechanics are a lot of fun, and it made me want to get these stupid coins that are hidden all over the damn level, so that I could figure out, like, oh, Lanky Kong, he can walk up slopes and he does a handstand. And honestly, the number of unique animations in this game like blew my
Mhm.
mind. Honestly, it was honestly really really fun, and to see all the characters do their thing, you know, whatever that may be.
Well, going a little bit broader, Donkey Kong Bonanza is one of the not a launch title, but one of the very early releases for the Switch too. So my kind of big, somewhat existential question is, why do we need a Switch 2? What's the point? I know you've kind of moved aside from your Switch days, although I did want to ask if you've gotten any
Yeah.
more amiibos since the last time we talked.
Oh man, yeah, my amiibo habit is rough. Luckily, I don't have anywhere to display them, so I haven't been tempted to complete the collection. I have every one except of the Smash Bros ones, which is like 80
Yeah.
or something,
And that's most of them.
Jeez.
except for like
Jesus.
one or two. It's ridiculous, honestly.
Will there be like a Diddy Kong one and a Trixie Kong now that they have?
Oh man,
I'm assuming they're in
I
it.
bet they would. I mean, there's too many damn Kongs, is what I think now. Honestly, they made a bunch of new
Wow.
ones. Every single one of the characters in this game besides Donkey and Diddy were new characters,
What?
which is like what? Yeah,
Why?
no, I thought it was Dixie Kong. It's not. That's Tiny Kong. It's Dixie Kong's younger sister. It,
Okay.
No respect for the
don't-
lore.
That's what I'm saying. It's upsetting, but it honestly, it expanded it. So now there's just too many. There's like 15.
And are a lot of these playable characters, or are you talking about the just like filling out the world?
These are all 5 are playable characters.
So now they have enough Kongs to round out the Diddy Kong racing game that apparently exists. Because Nintendo wants to have 3 racing games rather than just put everyone into a real big Mario Kart.
So
There was
Diddy
a
Kong
bit-
Racing's also coming back?
That would be cool.
I mean, if it's in this game, maybe, but I don't think so.
Oh, that's too bad. That was a huge hit. Everybody, that's
Yeah.
like a cult classic at this point.
Yeah, people
It's-
talk about it above Mario Kart, which always surprised me. I never played it
Whoa.
nearly as much, but
Huh.
Well,
It's
they
got
literally
its
have
people.
separated all these, even though Nintendo now owns it all. It's weird that Mario Kart hasn't moved to being like a Smash Brothers kart type game, because there's also Sonic also has his own racing game.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I wonder if they thought
Well,
of
it's
that.
weird to there's like it's always a cynical answer. There must be more money in like separating it. Like I don't.
Oh yeah, it's always about money. That's true. Yeah.
Well, it's like having certain characters in a Smash Brothers game might make me buy the Smash Brothers game because of like how it plays or nostalgia or anything. The idea of that happening for a racing game is insane when like the difference in characters is essentially like weight.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
some characters are slower, but you can knock people around. It's just like, well, I don't care. But there's a lot of people out there who are just dumber than me. If you're dumber
Well-
than me, feel free to write in and tell me how. Stillgoodpod@gmail.com.
at that point, it is easier though to just add in reskins if you are doing just like 3 weight classes.
Yeah. And maybe Mario Kart World will have Donkey Kong DLCs. We'll have Sonic DLCs.
That would make sense to me. I'm
Yeah,
honestly
bring back
like
Chunky Kong.
that's part of the reason I tapped out. Like when it comes to the Smash Brothers re-releases, is just like it's just too many people.
It's overwhelming.
too much.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's a fighting game, so you need
Right.
to understand all of the characters in order to counter them. It's literally like over 70, I think.
It's well, I mean, it's
Yeah.
like where for a long time, not that I played it with any sort of expertise, but part of the thing with Mortal Kombat was they would go through and cycle a roster. So characters would come back, character movesets would come and go.
Soul
based on, like,
Calibur
the
as well.
Yeah, and that kind of made sense where it's like, all right, well, I get good at Mortal Kombat 2 or 4.
Well, I want to answer your question about the Switch too.
Good, because I was about to re-ask it.
Yeah, sure.
So, like, looking at it from a hardware perspective, what can the Switch do that Nintendo don't?
Well said. Honestly, it's just slightly more graphically capable, which the Switch was desperately in need of. I don't know if you guys know.
Was
like,
it?
Oh.
No, I mean, like, make
Yeah.
that
Don't get me
example, because
started.
I've heard a lot of people
Okay.
talk to me about, like,
I'm
oh, it
started.
can't handle higher frame rates. I'm like, that has never been the breaking point for a game
Well,
for me.
when you're getting 15 frames per second, it's pretty important. It's pretty bad. It's pretty
Feels like I
horrible.
was getting 15 frames per second and was not bothered by it. So I'm like, Tears of the Kingdom or any
Yeah.
of the big games. Now, I understand
It depends on the
Switch
game.
2
how
can
much
do
that
a lot of
matters, too.
third-party games now and, like, keep up
Right.
with PlayStation and Xbox. But
okay.
as someone who has a PlayStation, I don't give a shit about that because
It's
those games will never
honestly-
come down in price on Nintendo. So
That's true. That's true. But it's just honestly a shame that they're even selling Doom on the Switch, right? Like it's incredible how they were able to optimize it, but it just as an experience, it's so much worse than any other way that you can play that game. But
And
that's
that
not
was
even,
on
that's
the
not
Switch
even the
1?
problem. Because it's on the Switch 1 exactly.
Okay.
But that's not the problem with the original hardware, because you could play Doom somewhere else, right? You can't play Pokemon somewhere else.
Okay.
And Pokemon Legends Arceus, Pokemon Scarlet, and whatever the other one was, I couldn't be bothered to get those ones. They just ran
We'll ask your mom later.
horribly. Yeah, she probably plays. I think she plays that one. But they ran genuinely horribly to the point where people were trying to emulate it on their computer just to get a decent frame rate. And like have a somewhat playable experience for those that care about that. But I don't know, the Switch 2, so that's a big deal. Is you can finally play these not even new games with a better frame rate. The problem is Nintendo. I'm not even interested personally in getting a Switch 2 because of how they are treating their customers with the consoles. I don't know if you've heard in the news. There's these you can brick your console like
Mhm.
remotely, essentially.
Yeah.
If
I'm
they
sorry,
don't agree
what?
with- Yeah, there was this news article about somebody named somebody's sister named their account Twinklink, which is pretty fun. That's funny. I thought it was a great name.
It's not even bad.
It's
I
really
thought his
not.
name was Twink.
Yeah, if you have a speech impediment, it might be.
Yeah.
But
My favorite
No,
was
so-
a Twink to the past.
okay, that's pretty good. But and by pretty good I mean horrible. But that's why I like.
I like the way you compliment me, Campbell. That's why we keep bringing you back.
But what's it called? So somebody named their sister named their account Twinklink, and shortly after the whole console got banned, which means that it could no longer download purchased titles to that account, and it's essentially just it's bricked. You can't use it really.
Paperweight.
Yeah, and so the fact that they can do this and couldn't reverse it, it's pretty horrible. Looks pretty bad from them. Oh, and also they didn't fix the Joy-Con. You remember the stick drift? All the stick drift issues with the first console. It's gonna be the same problems with this one. It's the same hardware in these. So
Was Nintendo the company that? Because I remember there was all that conversation around like reselling, trading, loaning games to people. Were they the ones who did the big like just handing it to someone on a stage?
No, that
No,
was
that was
Sony.
PlayStation,
That
right?
was
yeah,
Sony.
yeah,
Okay.
that was PlayStation.
Xbox was making it hard. And I will shout out, like, I'm about to borrow a bunch of, like, virtual game cards from a friend's. Like, as part with the Switch 2, they've made it much simpler
Really?
to
I
share.
didn't
Yeah,
know that.
literally,
That's
even
good.
the games
That's
you've
good.
downloaded, you can now lend to people. They've got to be,
That's
like,
cool.
on your family account, but they don't even need the Switch Online. So I'm about to get balls deep in Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
That's a good game. I liked that one. That was fun.
It looks real good.
It's delightful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. That's a step in the right direction. I didn't hear about that. That's good.
Yeah, it's rare to see. I mean, like, innovatively, you can always give them their accolades. I am particularly excited to check out the mouse tracking on the Switch 2 with certain games. I think
Oh,
with
yeah.
Metroid Prime, I've watched a video of someone playing it with Metroid Prime 4. It is just like, no, this is a good way to do shooters. You basically have a mouse
man.
and then you can plug it back in or do any of that.
I'm so upset. I have to play that game. I really hope I don't have to buy a Switch too.
It's upsetting.
don't
No, the
want to.
Metroid Prime 4 is still a Switch game, but you won't
That's
be
what
able
I
to do
hear.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
that's
Hopefully it's
good.
optimized well enough to play. I
Yeah.
think it should be.
You do love your Metroids.
They're so
And we
good.
love you, and we appreciate you stopping by, and we're sorry that we made you play Donkey Kong 64.
No, it's been a pleasure. Honestly, it was a good blast from the past. It's funny. I'm way more qualified to talk about this one because 3D is what I do for a living. But yeah, it was fun. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Do you have anything new to plug?
Yeah. If you play VR chat, you can buy my avatars in the game now, which is kind of fun. That's what I do. I make 3D characters, 3D art for a living. And so if you like VR chat and you like weird, wacky characters that are very fun and kind of Donkey Kong Country anthropomorphic fun style characters, that's what I like to do. Then you can buy my stuff in the game. Campbell is the tag, but you'll find me if you look hard enough, I suppose.
If you really want to.
If you really want to,
you
honestly,
can find him.
the search function is not that great, so it'll be kind of a fun adventure for you.
All right. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us again on Is This Still Good? You can find us at StillGoodPod on Instagram or send us a formal complaint to stillgoodpod@gmail.com. We love hearing from you.
Please give us a like or review wherever fine pods are casted. It helps us trick those algorithms.
You can find me across platforms at Hold for Plane.
And I'm at Gavin V. Murray. Join us next time, whenever that may be.
Bye.